Back to another episode of Level Up Video Games. We got some fun things to take care of and see if we can try to get fixed. Tigger, fist bump. Boop. Bunch of packages. We got another PS or an Xbox One controller. Needs to be fixed. We got some Pokemon games that we're working on. Right. NES. And we got this beauty right here. Has been over here opening packages and some stuff. We got a 3DS, which is not charging, but it does boot up and power on. Maybe. There it goes. We have the back, third-party back to the Wavebird, because the other one broke. Now this guy has a back. I just got to get a dongle for it, but that's ready to go as soon as I get a dongle. For the collection, I'll hold off on that till later. So now you can aim towards the item. That's this one. Oh, there's the other one I was looking for. We get a copy of Mario Kart Double Dash complete. We'll have to test that out. And I think that's all the packages, right, Layla?
This one.
That one's gonna wait. That's part of the collection. Huh? What? Why does it have to wait? Are you excited to see it? Do you even know what it is? No? Okay. How about this? I'll let you hold the package, please. Oh, there it goes. Well, go ahead. Can you take it out? Take a while, so maybe I'll get back to you as soon as she's done opening it all the way. Finally got it open. What is it? What does it say? It's a GameCube game. What's the title, hon?
7-0?
Yes.
Millet? Something?
No, it's called Summoner, a Goddess Reborn for the GameCube. This one's going in the collection. I've actually never seen this game before. The cover reminds me a little bit of Lost Kingdom. I'm pretty sure it's a different, well, let's find out. It's a different company that made this game. This guy is complete with the manual and everything. This is not a very expensive game. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. It's not like $100+ game, but I've actually never seen it. And so when I saw it, the cover reminded me of Lost Kingdoms, and the back has some looks like action aspects, but I don't know, it might be like turn-based, but we'll find out. Into the collection. I've never seen that before for the GameCube. I love finding random GameCube games I've never seen before. Had this complete Nintendo Switch come in. Essentially, it has the docking station, power, both Joy-Cons, and the Switch itself, plus a few games. We got Mega Man 11, Rocket League, instruction, Mario Kart Deluxe 8, and Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And then we got a loose copy of Mario Odyssey in here. So we're going to have to say, they said that it doesn't charge, so it's not powering on, which is okay. We'll figure that out. Right now, I think I want to just work on what I got here, which is these Pokemon games, this DS, Dream Master, and maybe work on the 3DS. If I can get to the Wii or the Switch, I will. But for right now, I definitely have one that works, and we have pieces and parts for. So we know we can get one working for sure, not a problem. I would like to figure out what's actually causing it to not power up. If it's just a really low battery, or the charge port's not working properly, or something else. So I'll have to look into it. Working on this a little bit last night. This is interesting. This is a Pokemon Blue that has a little bit of a bug. And a bug does it have in it?
I think,
Did you see a bug, like a tiny little one?
yeah. I think it's like some tiny little gnat, black gnat.
Oh, a black gnat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that there are no bugs in it, physical bugs. There is some type of software bug, some type of issue, like a trace isn't working properly. We're getting it to boot up. Maybe. No, that doesn't want to boot up. There it goes. Show you what's happening. If it actually wants to boot up. I got this booting up last night. Actually going to come back to that blue. I want to start working on this gold. This one is working. This one I believe is not. So we'll take it apart and see what's going on. It was actually test what's going on with this. Essentially they said it saves, but as soon as you take the cartridge out, its save disappears. So we're going to see if we can reproduce that in a second. Let's see if we can reproduce the problem. Well, this might be the wrong one. This one says continue. So, oh, this is the one that is working. This is the one that's working. I saved it. It has no issues. Took it out. Put it back in. No problems. So that gold is working. This is the one that's supposedly not working properly. Save. I'd like to save the game. Yep. Don't turn off the power. That would be bad. Save the game. All right. Let's turn it off. Turn it back on. All right. Looks like continue is available. So now we take the game out, put the game back in. And supposedly the continue is gone. It's still there. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm gonna take this one apart and take a look at the inside really quick. Frees me is I remember taking one of these apart and there was something I didn't like about it. And I don't remember if I fixed that or not. I did not. So that battery, you guys can see, let me zoom in here. Essentially, this plus is on the minus end and not on the plus end. So this battery is upside down. So we're going to fix that, clean these up a little bit, and that's all we're going to do because it's saved perfectly fine. I just wanted to flip this. First thing I wanted to check is this battery, and I am not getting any readings whatsoever from this battery at all. Like, it's zero, as you can tell. So I decided to grab one of the ones that I have and test it. This is 1 volt. So I believe these things are what, 1.3 or 3 volts. So even that is low on here. But I'm getting absolutely no reading on this one. Let's try it again. I just realized it's set to the wrong setting. So this one is reading 3.3, which is fine. This one is still reading 0, and I'm touching the positive and the negative right here. It'll be flipped, but I got no readings whatsoever on this battery. So we're going to desolder this, clean it up, get it looking nice and new, and see what we can do. Make sure that it's properly done. Oh, it's reading 1.3. It's 1.37. That's pretty low for a 3-volt battery. So we're going to conclude This one is trash. We're going to replace it and clean these pads and everything up around it. Clean this area up a little. Q-tip again. And then we'll grab this good battery. We'll just double check the voltage before we put it back on. Zoom out for you guys. 3.3. All right. So again, there is in here on these guys, you can see there's a plus and a minus. Now on these, there is a plus right there on top, right there, and well, there's no minus, so you would just assume that this is plus. So you gotta make sure that the plus goes with the plus. So at the top of this, I like to bend it down a little. Sometimes I'll just take off the extra. We really don't need that much. And this, and that, I'm gonna solder it like so, plus to plus. And then I'm gonna bend that down for the minus. And then we'll try it again. And I like to pre-solder the ends of these guys. Tin them a little bit with some solder. Helps tremendously. Okay. Now we're just going to kind of tack it on there for right now. We're going to call this one good. All right, we got both sides in there properly. We can test voltage again. Make sure that it's doing its job. Yep. This says 2.997, which is fine. You guys can see that right there, because now it's actually attached to the actual board. There's some reducers and some capacitors and stuff on here that's reducing the amount of voltage, which is fine. So this thing's good to go. I'm going to test it one more time to see if it saves. Since I took the battery out, it should be dead once I took it out, and so it shouldn't be able to save again. So we'll try it again. All right, let's turn it on. We're going to go through pretty much the same process. We're just going to continue tapping A until we can save, test the save, take the card out, make sure it's all working properly. Doot, doot, doot. All right, start, save, save. Gold turned on, turn it off, turn it back on. Continue, that's working. Boom. Turn it off, unplug it. I don't know what else you're supposed to do with it. It really doesn't do anything else. Plug it back in, turn it on. And there's the continue. So at this point, to me, this gold is good to go. This is that blue again. I was thinking about maybe going to get my version of blue and start testing similar the chips and see if I can find out where they're going, as long as the board is the same. Because some of these chips down, or some of these traces down here, I can't find going to any of the chips, and I've checked a couple of them, so I could do that. I wanted to really show you what happens even when it does work. So I found some traces on the back of this board that were not connected properly to each other. So I went ahead and rewired, just essentially connected the two traces. So we're going to test it out now and see if it works. Fortunately, I was not able to get it working to show you guys what it was doing beforehand, but I'll tell you what it was doing. Essentially, it was loading up perfectly fine, except for the sprites. The sprites were just square, so all the Pokemon in the beginning when Ash is standing there and the Pokemon come across, they were just squares. And then when Professor Oak was sitting there talking to you, he was a giant black square. So hopefully that will fix that problem. We'll see. To be honest with you, it is cold out here. I don't know if you can see this. Probably not. My breath, you can see my breath. The temperature has definitely dropped out here, and we're not in the coldest place. It's not snowing or anything, but it might snow a little bit if we get the rain. It's supposed to happen, which is good. You snow on Christmas, but it's cold, and I'm bundled up, and it's cold. The thing about being in a garage with absolutely no heater or heat or anything, it's cold. Let's see if we can get lucky this time. See if it loads. See if it works properly. Well, that's good. There we go. Oh, look at, there he is. There's Squirtle and Mankey. All right, so like literally, these guys were just little squares, black squares that had come across. Like it was having issues loading up the sprites, which means it wasn't connecting some of the traces. So it looks like I fixed it. We're gonna do the whole battery test on it, make sure it's properly saving. And there's Mr. Oak. He's actually up and not a giant square of black. I really wish I could have showed you guys what was going on, but it just was not loading properly. So this is a score. It's not for me, actually. Travis gave me this, so this was just essentially a test to see if I can get it working again, and I fixed the problems. We're not done yet. We still got to essentially make sure that those connections never touch anything metal or short on anything, because right now they're just open wires, open connections. So we want to make sure that those are taken care of, and we can just put some proper sealant on there. Let's save the game. And then we'll turn it off, turn it back on. Blue version should say continue. Yes. All right, we're gonna finish this up, and this is all done. Because I actually thought that was gonna take me a lot longer to diagnose than it did. Finding traces and broken traces on Game Boys and Game Boy Advance games can be tedious, but when you fix it and you find something, it gets you excited, and then it works. You're like, dang, I kind of know what I'm doing. Next, we're gonna take a look at this 3DS. It's having troubles charging, so it's definitely not charging. The third-party charger connected to it, and nothing. So first thing I'm going to do is just clean out this port, see if that's the problem. Cleaned out that port. Nope, nothing. And just to prove that this whole thing's working, see, it's charging. That's charging. Let's unplug it. Let's try it one more time, just for laughs and nothing. All right, let's take it apart and see what's going on with the battery. Looking at this battery, and I don't know if you guys can see it or not. If we can get it in focus, there's definitely some type of like little scrapes, little tool marks up on top. So I'm not sure if this battery is even good. Only just a battery problem. Those are easy to fix. All right, I'm actually gonna go see if I have another battery. What is this? This is the CTR003. I have a new 3DS, but I can't remember if they're the same battery or not. So I'll double check. It's a bummer. This is an SPR003, and this is a CTR003. Okay, I'm gonna check a couple more different devices to see if batteries work. I'm gonna try this DS Lite and see if the battery is the same battery. We're kind of at a standstill because I know this device works. It just might be a bad battery, and I just don't have any extra batteries for this 3DS. Luckily, if you guys can see down there in that corner, it doesn't look like it's been hit by water, so that's a plus. We know it works. It's come on. It's just this battery is so low it doesn't charge. the battery is completely dead and the charger works perfectly fine. It's hard to judge. I guess maybe I could put up the voltmeter and see if it's getting voltage to the battery. That would mean that the connector is working perfectly fine. It's just the battery is not working properly. We're gonna try that. See if we can get something. So I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Essentially right now I got my multimeter in voltage mode and I got it plugged in. I'm just seeing how much voltage, if anything, is getting to these plugs right here. And as you can see, I'm getting about 0.25 volts. So I'm not sure if that's the correct voltage that this thing's supposed to be getting or not. Because I don't have another 3DS and I've never done this before, it's hard for me to tell. Let's check the battery voltage on it. This thing is supposed to be 3.6 volts. So let's check to see where this thing's at. We know this thing's dead, but how dead is it? If you guys can see over there, it's 1 volt, which I don't think is enough to make this machine go on. But we know there's voltage getting to the battery. So maybe the best thing I could do is just leave it on the charger for a little bit and see if this battery kind of gets higher up and maybe does something. It's not going to hurt it. I know Travis, I think, has a 3DS. I think I just gave him one that a port wasn't working. I don't know if he sold it yet. So maybe I can get lucky and ask him to bring it and test the battery on it. So maybe I'll do that, but we're gonna leave it plugged in for a little bit and see what's going on. I'm bumping all day. A lot of N64 games have sold just today. To a second copy of Diddy Kong Racing, like a lot. Tony Hawk. I mean, we went through a lot. I could see how many we ended up selling. We got a repair for a PlayStation 3 done. That was a power supply. We're still working on this Switch. Ended up selling Harry Potter and the Chambers of Secrets for the PlayStation 2 on eBay. Yep. So what was wrong with that Switch? Well, the charge chip was what's wrong with it. Was able to figure that out. If only I was really good at micro soldering. Essentially, this is the second time I've tried a charge chip and the second time that I've kind of messed it up. Essentially, when I'm using my heat gun, it just blows the capacitors out of nowhere and I have to find them, and then trying to reseat them and resolder them is such a pain in the ass. And I'm not really good at it. It doesn't help that one of the capacitors, the pads, are completely gone. So now I'm having to jerry rig stuff, and it's just a pain in the ass, man. It's really been an extremely busy day. I've been doing a lot of repairs. Got through majority of it, and a customer's PS4 that he brought in wasn't powering on. Switched the power supply, and it's working. Paid for a new power supply. I gotta order a new one. But we pretty much knocking out majority of everything. We're working on this Switch, and it is definitely having some issues. No power at all. Even my bum board for parts and repairs is working compared to that one. So we're still working on it. This battery's charged, so I'm gonna start using that probably tomorrow. I'm kind of tired. We did get, all that stuff in the mail. We got one more thing in the mail. This blank cartridge right here. Got in, and it's a copy of Super Smash Bros. Great, because we don't have one of these, but it's not the best shape, but it's okay. It's still a working console game, legit. Clean it up and put a new label on it. That'll be it for me today. Tomorrow I'm gonna probably just continue working on that Switch. It's very frustrating, but it's all right. I'm gonna try to get one working kind of, hopefully. Like this one, it's missing a couple capacitors because I took them, but this is the working one, and then I have to fix that all down there, which is not going to be fun. The one that we just got, and it's completely not working, even though I hodgepodged that garbage right up there, missing a whole bunch of little stuff all over the place. Went extremely well up until I worked this switch, man. I got DS Lite, PlayStation 4, 3 Pokemon games, resoldering, and everything else. I was on a roll, and then I got to here, and micro soldering is not my forte, man. I thought I can get it. I'll get better at it, though. It's okay. Switch wasn't really working to begin with. I knew that. Thought it was just going to be an easy battery switch. Was not. Check the caps on charge chip. One was faulty. Tried to replace the charge chip and blew off some caps and tried to put them back on, and then the caps would not stick, and realized that there was pad missing, and it just eventually it gets worse and worse over time every single time I try to fix those. So maybe we'll just call it a loss when we get one. I don't know. I really want to get them to work, though. The chips off isn't the hard part. It's making sure that everything else around it doesn't blow off. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to level up.